So I created this form at Jotform. I just took one of the templates and then I went to make.com. And basically, the idea is that when people fill out this form, what I want the AI to do is to kind of use OpenAI to do research about this person or the company. Like, just it could be about the company as well. Like, what does the company do or something like that.
Hi, my name is Dimitri Panici, and I'm a content creator, agency owner, and AI enthusiast. You're listening to the AI Agents Podcast, brought to you by Jotform, and featuring our very own CEO and founder, Ida Tank. This is the show where artificial intelligence meets innovation, productivity, and the tools shaping the future of work. Enjoy the show.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the AI Agents Podcast. How are you doing, Ida?
Hey, how are you doing, Dimitri? I'm doing great.
Yeah, I'm doing awesome. There's a lot of new things happening in the AI world, so figured we might as well just dive right in. There's a couple really big releases from two of the main players in AI, or I guess two of the largest companies that have the stake in AI right now. Google had some big improvements, and so did OpenAI. So I'm very excited to dive into both of those pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean, you would think that at the end of the year they would like slow down, and they're just going right ahead. Like into the December, they're constantly releasing new stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know OpenAI had the 12 days of OpenAI. And what was really interesting is basically immediately following that, we had the announcement. Well, I guess it was kind of concurrent with the end, but the announcement of ChatGPT of OpenAI's O3 model, which was cool. But then Gemini at the same time dropped like Gemini 2.0, which I don't know. Were you anticipating that? Because I personally didn't know that was on the
No,
radar.
it's
No,
just
I didn't.
too many things happening. Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, we might have just missed it because there's still a lot going on. But yeah, I wasn't ready for it. I don't think a lot of people were, and it kind of blew a lot of people away. So that's kind of what we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about OpenAI, and we're gonna talk about Jotform's AI agents as well, which are definitely something to keep on the lookout for everybody listening to this podcast.
Yeah. So what's going on with the Jotform AI agents? We are almost like 2 months away. So it's very exciting time for us because it's just we are getting ready to launch the new product. Yeah, and this week we are actually having this hack week. So we have this tradition that like when we want to discover kind of new features and discover like like just it just gives time to the team, all of the teams, to like just stop doing what they are doing and then do some experimentation. And so
Mhm.
this week our team is actually just doing these hack weeks, like a hackathon, week long hackathon, and 35 teams are actually joining this hackathon, and they're just this is like this is I told the team, okay, we are about to launch in 2 months, and so this is our last chance to do some really cool stuff. Like
Yeah.
whatever ideas, like last minute ideas you have, just try to get them out and just try to like create like prototypes, do some demos, and so that we can actually see, because while we are building these products that are being used by the beta users, like teams are actually very busy, but they come up with new ideas as well, and but there's no like time to like work on those new ideas. So I thought this is our last chance. Let's take a breath of fresh air, like let's just do some hacks, and then after that it's going to be like the new year. We are going to be like just stabilizing the product for the launch and getting ready for the launch and improving and polishing those things. But also like we will probably pick a few of those things and also implement them, and that's the exciting part. So recently we have been improving many things in the Jotform AI agents. I think one of the biggest improvements has been the appointment taking capabilities. Like
Yeah.
we have integrated with Google Calendar. We have integrated with
Very cool.
platform's own like calendar
Yeah.
features, and then we made it much more easier to converse with the like appointment taking capabilities. So I think that was good. We have been
Uh-huh.
improving the phone. I think the phone is a really killer app for AI agents because it's just, people hate waiting 45 minutes to talk to someone. But if you
That they
can
do.
actually talk to an AI agent instantly, and if the AI agent knows their stuff, can do things, it has its tools to perform things for you. And if it's fast, like that's been what we have been improving recently, like just making it faster and better. I think that makes a big difference. So
100%.
we are actually also working on this WhatsApp integration as well, like just talking to your AI agents over WhatsApp.
That's
Uh,
interesting.
yeah, I think that's also going to be cool because
Yeah.
it's it's easier to like text your AI agent to ask for things. Sometimes like you don't want to open a browser, or you don't want to use your voice. So yeah, I think like the biggest one was like the speed up. We just like doubled the speed of the AI agents. Like it was kind of getting slower because all the features we added, all the actions, tools, and features we added to AI agents, they were getting kind of slow. And like we just took some time to like improve the speed, and that made a big
Mhm.
difference as well. But I'm really excited about this Hack Week. Like there is like over 200 people joining the Hack Week, and just I'm curious like what kind of ideas they will come up with. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's always I've always heard a lot of great things about hack weeks in the world of not just AI, but obviously like SaaS in general. So I think it's pretty cool. Yeah, that's always the interesting issue with SaaS. When you build out all these features, you have to make sure it gets fast, or you have some interesting issues because people are happy with the feature set, but then they're like, okay, but it's taking way long to load. I don't really want to use this. So it's going to be very, very cool to see what happens with that. Is there anything else regarding Jotform's AI agents that you want to chat about before we get into the topics?
Yeah, it's lots of things, but let
Yeah. Yeah.
keep giving more information as
Yeah,
during the next coming weeks as well. Yeah.
for sure. So there's a lot of stuff happening in the world of AI. Obviously, we had Gemini 2.0 come out. I think that it's also called Mariner. I guess, it's funny because a lot of these Project Mariner, is one of the main things to talk about. They had a lot of interesting parts of this announcement. I'd say, for those of you that are unaware, there's kind of a litany of things that they released. They released a new video model. They released a couple other different things here and there. The pricing apparently of ChatGPT came back in a way to kind of bite them in the court of public opinion again, because I don't know, did you see how much cheaper Gemini's like 2.0 Flash costs were?
No, not really looked at. I don't look at the
No.
pricing. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I know it's obviously we talked about this. There was the $200 per month option, right? For ChatGPT o1 Pro. They obviously did not release anything in that realm. Gemini wise, they did not announce some crazy expensive plan. All their plans are essentially much, much cheaper. I mean, 10 times less. And because they didn't release, this is a very interesting, because Gemini improved a lot, but didn't release a higher pricing tier, all of the marketing that they could use and what everyone else was magically saying was that it was 10 times cheaper than ChatGPT. And I was just laughing because I'm like, oh man, we talked about this and now like immediately everyone's jumping on, and that's the main part of the news. So you're probably seeing that everywhere, but we want to talk about Gemini 2.0 and all the ways that it can help you out in the agents from the agent's perspective. So Idakin's going to dive into Mariner real quick.
Yeah, sure. I was just looking at that, and just I'm just sharing my screen. It's like Gemini 2.0 is amazing. Like it has amazing features. But since this podcast is really focused on agents, I was really impressed with the Mariner project, which
Yeah.
is not yet released. But I thought that it was really cool, and we could show show some parts of the video. Here's the video.
Here, I have a list of outdoor companies listed in Google Sheets, and I want to find their contact information. So I'll ask the agent to take this list of companies, then find their websites and look up a contact email I can use to reach them. This is a simplified example of a tedious multi-step task that someone could encounter at work. Now, the agent has read the Google Sheet and knows the company names. It then starts by searching Google for benchmark climbing. And now it's going to click into the website. You can see how this research prototype only works in your active tab. It doesn't work in the background. Once it finds the email address, it remembers it and moves on to the next company. At any point in this process, you can stop the agent or hit pause. What's cool is that you can actually see the agent's reasoning in the user interface so that you can better understand what it is doing. And it will do the same thing for the next two companies, navigating your browser, clicking links, scrolling, and recording information as it goes. You're seeing an early stage research prototype, so we sped this up for demo purposes. We're working with trusted testers to make it faster and smoother, and it's so important to keep a human in the loop. After the fourth website, the agent has completed its task, listing out the email addresses for me to use.
Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
this was
Wow.
incredible, right? It's
Yeah.
just like if you had like a human that
Searching up. Yeah.
yeah, like if you had like an intern and you gave them this task, that's as high quality as that one was. Like just researching the web, searching the websites, and just also I really like that it was actually giving the reasoning behind it, like
Yes,
what
for
it was
sure.
planning to do. It was also sharing that. So this is
Um,
like this is like an agent that you give it a task and it does it for you, and it goes out and does things for you. It's like an employee that's actually you gave a task to do.
I think, okay, what's really interesting about that is, there's products that are actively trying to do this right now, that are not Google. They've either been, you're familiar with RPA products,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
robot, yeah, okay. Robotic, what is that? Robotic process automation? Is that what that stands for?
yeah.
I think. Okay. Yeah, so RPA is a thing that's been around for a while, and a lot of these companies are trying to implement not only following your step-by-step clicking, kind of what we showed in the last episode. There was a product that had it was like a browser that was catered around this. Google just said, no, do you want to be able to type into the corner of your screen and just have it know what you mean and do it? Yeah, that's something that I cannot believe I'm actually seeing, because there's other products like Bardeen who actively have been trying to do things like this. Are you familiar with Bardeen?
Not really.
It's like it's a Chrome extension. It's sort of a Zapier and Make alternative where they have automated workflows, but also you can press things called playbooks, and that playbook will follow a process. It could be taking your tab and converting it into a Google Sheet, or they tried to implement this type of thing where it's basically scraping and analyzing and stuff. I'm just going to be honest, Google already is blowing it out of
Do
the
you remember
water.
the demo I made with AutoTap last week?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was talking about. I forgot the name of the product, but AutoTab, you talked about it last episode. It's like, make sure to showcase, it can grab sections of the screen. That's pretty cool. And we're both like, wow, this is pretty nice. And then Google was like, no, we're going to make it work inside of the browser you already use, and you can just type and tell it what to do. That's incredible.
That was like one step from RPA products. So RPA products are like more like rigid, like you define how you want it to
Exactly.
work, and it works. The AutoTap was similar to RPA, but you could also add like a prompt. In this case,
Exactly.
like the prompt is like, go do this for me, and it does for you,
And it
and
just
then you
did it.
watch it,
Yeah.
and you also have the human in the loop. Like you can actually
Incredible.
stop the task. There is a pause button. I don't know if you've seen it.
I did.
There
Yep.
was a pause button at the top. You could pause it and just add a prompt to say, okay, don't do it that way. Just do it some other way. So yeah, this is kind of scary.
Well, I think it's scary because obviously we're working under the assumption that this is available for browsers. I bet you they have the intention of doing it on your desktop completely, or like your computer completely, I should say. Like there's got to be a world in where all of these companies are competing, because you see Microsoft obviously has its how about its like connection with OpenAI because of the investment. Google has its own counter products essentially with Gemini. And I'd imagine Google is going to make an attempt to add this to, well, obviously they have Chromebooks, but it's going to be, I don't know what the implications of this are, but they're going to try to partner with somebody in order to implement this on desktop or make their own app. I would imagine you could see because we've already seen, you're familiar with how like Apple and Google are kind of close due to the Safari, like Google plan that they have, like that Google pays Apple a significant amount of money.
Yeah.
To always have Google. I'd be curious to see, because Microsoft's obviously going to try to implement some sort of Copilot version of this on their desktop like as soon as possible, because they're probably freaking out as to the quality of what you're seeing. Or they'll try to make a Bing version first, I guess I would say, right? Because Bing is the competitor there. It's just very scary. Like, what are your thoughts as someone who runs a company? What are your thoughts on the implications
I was
of this
actually
for
looking
like
for that.
entry level jobs?
They also had this like Gemini 2.0 also had this like researcher. That was
Okay.
also very similar, but it was like instead of doing this like more structured approach, you could actually you tell it, okay, I'm gonna do this, go do a research for me. And it's basically going out like just researching all these websites, doing the research. It takes like 5 or 10 minutes, and it's coming back and creating the report for you. So it's like it's even less structured than what I've shown. So this is like the new way to kind of do research. Basically, instead of like doing your own research, you kind of at every level like you're actually going higher and higher, right? In the RPA level, like you're telling it to do this, do that, and in this like the AutoTap example was like more like you're kind of automating that and adding some prompts. And in the example of the this one, the Mariner, you're basically instructing like go find this and put it on a spreadsheet. But on the research of the advanced Gemini advanced research mode, you're basically telling it like, okay, come up with a strategy, come up with a plan, come up with a report for me to how to do this. And it's just like doing the research, doing everything, and just returning back to you with whatever you need. Like whatever, like basically, like one of the problems we have is like
Yeah.
you don't know what you don't know. Like sometimes you don't know what to do, right? And I think that works really well for those kind of cases.
Yeah, this is what I just pulled up right now. It's called Deep Research.
Yeah, deep research.
Researching like 62 plus websites. I've completed your search. I've completed your search. What the heck? This just feels like, okay. What I was asking before, obviously you jumped into this because I think it's interesting too. I'm not gonna, okay. What do you give entry level people to do now? Like when they finish this plan. That's just, I know it's kind of it's a hard question, but I see the implications, and you mentioned like, okay, this is like an intern level task. I see this as well as like some sort of lower entry level task. It's a very natural way to try to help someone new at the company figure out, an industry, because they're doing the research, they learn, and then they try to teach you. Like, I just don't. They're actively just going up the ladder of, okay, now we're starting with this entry level group of people. They've already obviously had a huge impact on the creative industry, and then they're also having impact on like coding. It just feels like they're really going after everything. If I had this, I don't know why I'd hire him yet.
It's really hard for the entry level jobs because
Yeah.
it's like you have to pay your dues, right? You have to like when you're just starting out in your career, like you have to do the work that is not really that advanced, but but you have to spend a lot of time like learning the basics.
Yes.
Now that the AI can do lots of the basic stuff, like what do you do next, right? That's a tough problem.
It's definitely, it's interesting. It's like you've mentioned this many times before on the podcast, but new business owners, entrepreneurship, this is going to be perfect for them. Like this is going to be this. I think this is these types of things. At least for me, I'm like, okay, wow, I can really get a lot done without as much like help that I thought I needed, because I can tell the AI. Now I'm actually interested as well. You talked about prior to the call being able to make your own AI agent with by using make.com. I'd love to see kind of how that plays in to this conversation too, because obviously we talk about AI agents a lot. How do you make one? You know,
Yeah.
that's probably a
I mean,
question people want to know.
like we've been talking about AI agents, right? Our listeners, maybe they just want to create their own agent. Like, just can they make it like in like less than 5 minutes? Like, and I was thinking about that, and I just, because I know that lots of Jotform users use Make and Zapier, I just went to make.com and just it took me like a couple of minutes to create an agent that does the research for me, and it's very like, it's not as advanced as what the Gemini is doing here, but it's also work, right? It's also work. We still do like this Gemini stuff. We are not using it yet. Hopefully it's gonna be released soon, but it's getting close to. Yeah, some parts are actually available, but some parts like the Mariner is not actually available right now. It says
Mhm.
it's a research project, so it's Google usually takes some time to release stuff because they have to like test for security, things like that.
Of course.
So let me show you that demo. Like, just it took me so little time to do that. Like, I was really impressed, and I created my agent. Like, in a couple of minutes, create an agent in a couple of minutes. So let me share my screen. So I created this form at Jotform. I just took one of the templates. This was like a follow-up call form, and just I filled it out so we don't waste time. But
Sure.
basically, it's a form on any website that, if you want them to call you, like you can even like Jotform actually has like small calendar like feature. It can actually integrate with like Google Calendar as well. Like, just basically I created this form, and then I went to make.com, and
Yep.
basically the idea is that when people fill out this form, what I want the AI to do is to kind of use OpenAI to do research about this person or the company. Like, just
Yeah,
it could be
for
about
sure.
the company as well. Like, what does the company do or something like that, right? So yeah, that's what I did. I went to Make, and then I said create a new scenario,
Mhm.
and basically I'm adding my first I'm gonna add an integration with Jotform. Let's do that. And get form submissions. Let's see more. Watch for submissions. I think this works better.
Yep. That'll
For
work.
instance, so I did actually a couple of minutes ago. I did create a hook. I can reuse that, but it's basically just
Yep.
just connecting with Jotform. It's very simple.
Mhm.
And so basically, this is now actually like listen to all these submissions on this form. Like, someone submits this, makes a form submission. This actually triggers this. So next step is when I receive the submission, I want to send it to OpenAI. So I select it, and I discovered that actually there is like multiple ways to connect with OpenAI APIs, and there was also this assistant feature with the OpenAI. Like, if you go to API, and if you go to like Playground on API, you can actually find the assist. You can create an assistant. It just makes it easier to like it remembers stuff. It can have threads. So because it gave this as first option, I just picked this one. So I already connected with the OpenAI, but if you didn't, like, this is just a click away from like connecting with the API with your API key, and then I created an assistant, and I'm connecting with that assistant. So the roles are like just basically I will ask as a user, and I will message this who is, and from the form, this is actually showing all the data coming from the form. Who is, I will just put like first name, last name. Okay. So,
Yeah.
and basically this is actually the prompt. Who is, and
Yep.
whatever you fill out here, first name, last name, it's gonna prompt the ChatGPT or OpenAI with this prompt. That's it. This is the prompt. I can do lots of things, but I just wanted to do something simple as a demo to show how easy it is to create your agent. That's actually can work 24/7. That's it. This is done. So now this is receiving form submission, and this is actually sending data to ChatGPT to get information. And then the next step is I want to put this information to Google Sheets. So I will just say Google Sheets, add a row, and then I will, it's already picked up my connection path, my drive, and I will find the file request received from customer, and then the sheet name, and that's it. It's ready. Oh, okay. I have to put the let's put the name first. First column is name, right?
First name, last
name,
name.
space, last name, and then the company. We are also receiving the company name here, and then this is the information part. Okay, this is I'm gonna get it from OpenAI here. So basically, click in here, and then value here. And yeah, so I say okay, and this is actually now ready, right? And this is gonna get the data from the form submission, and then it's gonna put it here on the spreadsheets. That's the goal. Hopefully, it's gonna work. On my test, it actually worked. So I'm just saving this scenario, and I will just say run once, and wait for new data. So this is actually waiting. I'm just gonna submit this form now. Okay, the form is submitted. So now it's actually received the form submission here. That's really cool that you can actually see live what's happening behind. I still don't have the data because still the form submission is being processed. Now it's passed, and it looks like it already did the spreadsheet. So here's what I submitted. I take in tank, company name, and then here's I actually put this who is I take in tank, and basically put this information here. And it just so now I have this agent. Anybody can fill out this form on my web page, and when they fill out the form, my agent will actually do a research for me and put it here. If I want to change it, for example, let's say instead of the name, maybe I want to ask about the company, right? I will just say, tell me more about the company name. And then I'm putting the company name here. Let's see. Company is here, right? And then I say, okay, I changed it. And now I save it.
Okay.
Right. So I'm going to run it again. I could just leave it running as well. Just this is for its test purposes. And then I will go back. It's not going to allow me to select the same date. And then submit again. Let's see what's happening. So it's running right now. It's received the data. OpenAI is actually working. It also received the data. Oh, okay, cool. This time, we researched Jotform, and it's on the fly. We are actually doing research with our own agent. I didn't count the minutes, but it probably took me less than 5 minutes to create my first AI agents using Make and OpenAI.
Wow, that's pretty incredible. That's okay. So a couple different things to note there. If you're somebody who is big on having discovery calls come in, or just obviously sales calls is another term for it. You're going to be able to have context as to the person that you're going to meet and to the company. You could always put 2 tabs there rather than the one. And then
here's another cool fact. All the tools I used were free, like Jotform free for under form submission per month. Make is free until they have a good high number. Zapier as well. So and OpenAI using API is not free, but if you I just have $10 and it never ends, so it's almost close to free.
Pretty cheap.
I probably charge me less than a cent. And the Google Sheets is also free. So it was all free, and now I have this research being done on the background while when I receive leads. As a small business, I don't have time to do this. I can go to ChatGPT and do these searches, but I would prefer these things to be like done on the background, so I don't waste any time, and I can just quickly go back to, just if I need to call back the customer, call back the lead, I have all the
Yeah.
information and I can just use that information. And I could even like prompt it like even more advanced, like, okay, we have these services, find out about this company and what they do, how, and then like write down like how we can help this company, like just maybe create a proposal for us, right? So I can actually do even more advanced stuff, but I wanted to show how easy and quick to do these kind of things. Creating your agents is.
That's pretty, I mean, I thought it was pretty incredible. And another thing, and I was just looking it up because I was curious. Uh, with the API like this, a lot of people might have concern of like, oh, are you able to actually look up the web? Like search the web with this? There are options to do that with automation. So if you're a bit of an advanced user and it's not like the most recent data that would be maybe find on ChatGPT's like base model, you do have the ability to with I think they're called endpoint functions, like function calling. You can actually like do like a Bing search, for example, about the person, and then ChatGPT would analyze the web results and stuff like that. So for advanced users, just wanted to throw that out there because I know functionality like that's hard to come by, and I can just show a real quick way for you to not have your sales rep wasting time like looking up leads, and they can just automatically figure out about them. So thank you for that. All right, so I'm going to show a really quick feature. I know we're running up on the end of the episode here. I'm going to show a really quick feature that just released with ChatGPT. There's a lot of cool stuff with ChatGPT right now, but the main one I want to talk about is pretty intriguing. For those of you that are unaware of ChatGPT's recent launches, we have a wonderful release called Working With. So, or I guess Work With, whichever way you want to frame it. So you have Work With, which you'll see here as I'll make a new chat. There's this new little option here on the desktop app. It says Work With. What does this mean? This essentially means that you have the ability to take windows or apps, I should say, that are like coding or note-taking apps at the moment and have it analyze what's open on your screen. So if I take a look at my Notion page here, we can obviously see there's a bunch of different views in regards to like my day-to-day. So what I can have happen here is this is my dashboard for like my daily
You
tasks
really
and stuff.
love Notion, right?
Oh,
I
I'm
just see
big
that.
fan, huge fan. My entire life's in this thing. My business is in this thing. It's awesome. So what I can do with this is I can take this Notion app and then reference it in ChatGPT now. And I would never have been able to do this in previous worlds. So all I did was I pressed that little add to Notion option. And now you can see it says on the top, working with Notion, and I can press stop if I want. And I can just say, please analyze this main homepage and see what things I can clean up. It feels cluttered. And all it's going to do is it's going to analyze my Notion page, and it's going to say things like streamline the key sections, prioritize content by relevance, reduce the visual noise. There's a problem. There's too many headings, lists, and groups creating the clutter. So maybe the solution would be to use toggles for sections, like hidden groups, delegate tasks, and low priority. So that's a pretty good point. If there's things
Yeah.
that are like
Now
lower priority,
AI is
yeah.
telling us what to do.
Yeah, like all these little things here. It's like, okay, you know what? I haven't used delegate tasks in a while. Maybe
That's
there's
good.
too much space here. I can probably hide it into another view. It's a very good point. I hadn't considered that. I could probably consolidate, like it would probably tell me, it told me to add tabs, so I could add like tabs here, and I could hide different ones of these in the tabs. I could have like my meetings in one tab, I could have my journal in another tab, etc. And then from there, rather than it being a bunch of stuff on the side, what I'm trying to get at is the point to where all of this, you see like this task view, I just always found this stuff on the side clutters it. So let's just hide these real quick. So, in a moment, what we'll have is if I also move these out the way, is I'll have a view where my tasks kind of have more room here,
Agreed.
because previously I thought the stuff on the side was kind of, fine, but I had never considered using tabs like this. So I could always find the other things quickly, but I really want this to be the main focus of the page. So it actually gave me that idea. I used that idea, implementing quick links and tabs. Visual enhancements, the layout feels dense and last visual cues. Okay, I can think more about that. And then it gives me a proposed solution. So hidden groups are an idea for how to hide them. And I know a way to hide them would be tabs. Another quick example, which is really cool, is previously when you're interacting with stuff in another product, and not to knock Notion AI, but I actually kind of failed to see a reason why you'd want Notion AI anymore, because what you had previously was an app where you can highlight stuff and interact with the AI similar to what you would in like Notion AI's new Canvas, and they have all these improved writing features, but the models aren't up to date, one, and two, you don't have to copy and paste out of Notion anymore. You can just say, let's open up a new prompt, working with Notion still. Please analyze the script and give me feedback as to the issues with it. And don't forget, while you're working with Notion, you can do search functionality as well if you're using 4.0, which once again, I kind of failed to see why you'd even use Notion AI anymore. It figured out the top 3 AI Google Chrome extensions in 2025. That's obviously what's being shown just for proof here. It's analyzing it. It's saying, okay, the strengths are an engaging hook, the brand integration of the product. But some issues and areas are there's a lot of repetitiveness. So for example, there's a lot of the same ideas that talked about real-time transcription multiple times. I'm not even making this up. This is not like something I'm just using for, oh, look how cool it is on the podcast. When I was reading the script, I realized there was actually a QA issue with the script, because and as I was reading it, I was like, guys, you kind of missed the fact that it mentions real-time transcription twice, and it mentioned multiple things twice. So I literally pressed working with, and it's now this assistant that's telling me, there are problems with your script you might want to fix. And that was found by the AI and not people, which is incredible. And I didn't even have to copy and paste this, which I think everyone's annoyance with having like a non-Notion AI product is that you had to like copy and paste it over if you didn't have it. No, not even a thing. You just literally just open it up and chat with it. So incredible.
It's really cool. Really
Yep.
cool. Yeah.
So big waves being made in AI in the last couple weeks. Obviously, as you're listening to this, it's going to be in 2025, and that means that we're getting closer and closer to the AI agents launch for Jotform. So we're really excited for that to come out here soon, to be a part of the news of the AI launches that are happening.
Did you see that interview with Satya Nadella?
No,
Microsoft CEO. He was actually talking about end of SaaS, because he was saying that agents are going to kind of replace the software, apps, SaaS, everything, because the agents will do them. But my guess is we are still away from that. So as a SaaS founder,
you're like, please, no. You're like, please, no. Yeah.
But it's just like we have to keep up with the AI. We have to. The agents are gonna kind of gonna keep us on our toes. Like just being able to like just do things when people make requests and we do things. I think that's kind of like the approach that we'll have to do. Even the SaaS product will have to work that way. And just that's the trend. That's a possibility now, and it's very interesting, exciting times.
Yep. Exactly. I agree. So we're really happy you guys spent the time with us here today. Please make sure to leave a review on any relevance platform you're on, whether you're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you find your podcasts. Please follow and give us your feedback. We really appreciate everyone listening. With that being said, thank you for listening to this episode of the AI Agents Podcast, and we'll see you in the next one.
See you next time.